50th, dead last. Washington has the lowest number of law enforcement officers per capita of any state. That's unacceptable. As governor, I'll fix it.
Governor Bob Ferguson's 2024 campaign made public safety a top priority, promising $100 million to hire more law enforcement officers. In the 2025 legislative session, the governor secured those funds. Now, more than a year later, Fox 13 is following up on the results.
Any budget I sign must include this funding.
Governor Ferguson pushed hard for police hiring funds in 2025, but a year later.
So we're actually going in the wrong direction.
Steve Strand, executive director of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, says the state saw a net gain of 68 officers last year. But when you factor in population growth, Washington's police per capita rate fell even deeper into dead last.
The bill that the legislature gave him reflects the fact that they were, the word I would use is unenthusiastic about passing that bill and supporting local law enforcement.
The $100 million grant program came with a lot of strings attached, a long list of requirements.
There was some expectation of sort of quick action and increased hiring. What we've seen is departments having to jump through a lot of hoops, which were designed in the bill.
There are nearly a dozen requirements, including use of force data collection and reporting, proving local officers won't assist in immigration enforcement, compliance on firearm relinquishment pursuant to court orders, training on gender-based violence cases, extra training for officers in violence de-escalation and crisis intervention. Strand says the process is convoluted and complex, and in some cases requiring training that goes above and beyond what is already required by state law, which has been especially difficult for smaller departments.
If somebody calls 911 at 3 in the morning because somebody's kicking in their back door, you can't say, well, I'm sorry, we have, everybody's out of town for mandated training.
Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders is among the frustrated, saying it would essentially take a deputy to work full time in order to decipher the compliance rules and do the paperwork to apply for the grant.
I mean, it is not an easy task to sit here and say, we're going to revamp our entire agency to get access to this money.
The grants are being administered by the Criminal Justice Training Commission. Out of around 300 law enforcement agencies in Washington, 31 have applied for grants so far. 9 of those applications have been approved, funding a total of 45 new officers. The reality, the state needs to hire thousands more to even get to the national median officers per capita.
I mean, it's an eye-watering number.
So far, the grant program has dished out $12.6 million from that $100 million pot.
Calling it a drop in the bucket would be a generous read. It is nowhere near the level of need that our counties have.
Derek Young, executive director of the Washington State Association of Counties, says many county budgets are in crisis and these new hires require new revenue. To access the grants, cities and counties must already have or implement a sales tax increase of 0.1% dedicated to public safety to help pay for those new officers long term.
That is another challenge, is you have to be willing to increase taxes at a time when the legislature is increasing taxes in other places. So, in many cases, the population is pushing back on that.
Both Young and Strand credit Governor Ferguson for making police hiring a priority, but say the current strategy is bogged down by bureaucracy, the same kind of red tape that Ferguson vowed to cut back on the campaign trail.
My record's pretty clear and our platforms are pretty clear. Number one, we need to make government accountable directly to the people, eliminate the bureaucracy.
The state currently has around 11,000 officers, and as we mentioned, we need thousands more just to hit the median. We reached out to the governor's office about some of the critiques to the program. The office never responded. The Attorney General's office, who helped implement the grant program, did respond. A spokesperson is saying, quote, "It has been less than a year since the statute went into effect, and in that time, CJTC has built a grant program from scratch and begun issuing awards to qualifying jurisdictions across the state. Our office looks forward to continuing to support CJTC in its efforts to support local law enforcement, promote public safety, and ensure compliance with state law."